Do you have a brilliant startup idea but are stuck in the launching phase? Are you feeling overwhelmed by funding, marketing, or just where to start? Don't let your startup idea stay grounded. Visit our website at eapla.com to schedule a Blue Couch meeting and launch your startup journey today.
Well, welcome back to On the Cusp. My co-host Matt Snyder is back with me again, but this is a really exciting one because we've got Landon Durr, and your company is?
High Tide Rise.
That's right.
I love that name.
Yeah,
That's
that
awesome
is.
name.
Thank you.
And what do you do?
So simply put, we are content creators, specifically short form video for social media, for businesses.
Okay, so what got you into that?
Honestly, at the time, it's back in 2020, I am a finance major at Louisiana Tech, and I can crunch numbers all day, but that doesn't fulfill me creatively,
Yeah, well,
right?
thank God you moved, because that would have been a horrible life to have to live, the finance stuff. We're glad we got you into the marketing world,
Right,
and
right. So
that would have been just brutal.
I'm like, thank the Lord, my life shifted in a different direction, but I'm a finance major.
Did Quentin have anything to do with that?
Quentin and I were friends at the time, but just friends.
Okay.
So
And you're
just
married
friends.
to a
Now
banker.
you're married
we
to him.
can't have- that's too much.
Oh, that is
So
awesome.
he covers more of the finance side of things these days than I do. But 2020, I needed a creative outlet, so I wanted to start making videos. And TikTok was fresh off the press. People were kind of making fun of it. I was like, whatever. I want to entertain people, make them laugh, whatever that looks like. So I started making a couple of videos. After the first handful of videos that I made, one of them went viral, reached 800,000 people. And I'm sitting there, I remember I was living with my parents at the time. We live literally out in the middle of nowhere. They still to this day do not have Wi-Fi. It's like a little nature retreat out there, but I had to go outside to refresh my notifications, and I couldn't believe my eyes because I've got hundreds of thousands of people commenting and liking, and it blew my mind. And so I think I got bit by the bug during that situation, and from there I was like, man, I want to keep doing this. I want to keep entertaining people, whether that's making them laugh or educating them on something. And so I just kept creating content, and it had a lot of success. So after I built up my own personal platform, I constantly like to challenge myself with anything that I do. And so my next challenge was, okay, I've done this for myself, but now I want to do this for businesses, and I want to see if I can do that.
Now, did you go through the numbers? Because, you know, at EAP for us, we're the finance ones. We're the,
Right.
it's got to
Right.
make money. Was that ever, how did you transition to that? You know, because you're not going to, as a finance major, you knew, I got to make a living at this. How do I sell it?
It's interesting because at the time, I think it started off strictly as a passion project.
Yeah, that's the best.
And I actually had aspirations to go to law school. So that was my full career path. I had been on that for 10 plus years, wanted to go to law school. The Lord had different plans for me, and video really started taking off. And I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
My dad's an entrepreneur. I have the same spirit in me. And so I was like, okay, this is a creative project, but let me see if I can make some money from it. And so I started working with our first business, their World and Vision out of Ruston. So clothing brand company, completely different from the niche that I was creating content for. But in 6 months on TikTok, I grew them from 15,000 followers to over 100,000 followers. And so that I proved to myself that, okay, I can do this for other companies, and then it's just grown to multiple different clients and multiple different industries from there.
It's a very unique thing that comes up in a lot of meetings I have that I think a lot of it, I'm a marketing guy and I don't want to deal with it. I think a lot of business owners, it's just something they know they need to do, and it's another part of this social media thing that's happening to them.
Right.
I'm seeing a lot more companies like yours pop up.
Right.
And it is so needed.
Yes,
I think the market
absolutely.
is wide open for people like that. So I'm glad, I mean, that's awesome.
Thank
I mean,
you,
some
thank
people
you.
can manage it. You know, we have portfolio companies. They can handle their own social media. They can create content. They can post it because they're right there, okay,
Right.
doing it, and
They're in the
they're
mix.
part of it. It's very easy.
But the good content that a professional that's focused on it can do,
Significant
it's
difference.
just so much better.
And
It's
impactful.
so much better than a happy snap. Hey,
yeah.
here's Lily making a
I'm
sandwich.
getting with my guys. I'm like, look, what do you do? Or you, like,
Right.
I'm moving all my people away from doing our own stuff because they're eating up time.
Yeah,
That's
Right.
costing them money.
Right.
In their time, and then their content is not as good as somebody that's focused on
That
it
is correct.
every day.
always.
And
always.
I will say there is a value to that business owner who is in the mix every day of things, and they are posting some content. So
Yeah.
I applaud them for putting that effort in, because a lot of people don't realize how time-consuming content creation is. And it's kind of lumped into one category of, oh, it's content creation. Yes, but it's also videography, it's editing, it's content ideation, and potentially copywriting. So
Yeah.
are you, and I honestly, rarely, if y'all find the unicorn that can do all four of those things, please let me know. I want to hire
Yeah.
them.
No, those are hard.
I
to
meet
Because they're
people
hard to
all the
find.
time, and in our first meeting, they're like, you know, I do my marketing. I make my 3 or 4 posts a week. And then you look at them and you're like, you should stop doing you're not doing anything for yourself. Those 17 people that saw that garbage post you made that didn't, like,
Yeah.
How many of
don't
how many of
just
them
check
went in
the
and
box
bought
and say you're
something?
doing your marketing. I mean, like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's got to be good content or it's not worth putting out anyway,
Right.
in my opinion.
Exactly. And I think you're so right about, I'm just checking the box. Well, I'm putting it out there because I have to. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's the attitude of so many companies of,
Oh
well,
my
let
God,
me-
they
let me-
gave it to one employee, and that employee, it's just something on their list they don't want to do. I mean, it
or an
works away.
intern, and
Yeah.
it's just, I got to grit my teeth and just do this because I know it's 2024 and I've got to do that. But it's like, hey, hand it over to somebody who's passionate about it,
Right.
and loves to do that and is genuinely excited about it. And I consider us different in the way that we come in and we want to learn what about your business, about you, about what you're passionate about, so that we can then take that and remix it and just communicate that in a way that a mass audience can understand it in simplistic terms.
Yeah, well, talk to us now about your growth. You started in 20, you got that first customer. Talk about how that's grown.
So we originally started with short form video, and that's still our core product, but since 2020 and specifically 2021, when we established High Tide Rise officially, we have built out our clientele mainly on the short form video side. But from that, we've also had some more products pop up, as more so in the copywriting field of things. We've also got some newsletter products and things like that, which goes back to the copywriting. But we've got a lot more clients on our rosters these days. We're managing with a much larger team, so I've been blessed to be able to hire the right people and put them in the right positions. So
That's always key.
absolutely, because I recognize I cannot do this on my own by any means, and so we've got a great editor, we've got an awesome copywriter, multiple copywriters actually, and a few other people that have just really rounded out our team to help manage our clients and everything like that. And not only with High Tide Rise, creating content has helped us develop relationships with other influencers.
Yeah.
And that's another portion and segment of our business that we've built out. Specifically, we have a friend, and his name is George. He's a barber influencer with over 1.5 million followers across his social media platforms. He's killing it on social. And so we've talked to him, and over the course of our relationship with him, we helped him develop his very first set of online digital products for him to sell and
cool.
monetize.
Yeah.
And now, actually, tomorrow, we are going to be launching his first ever online community where people can continue their education in the barbering or cosmetology field, as well as have a community of like-minded peers to help them grow
Yeah, Dave,
So-
you gotta have some merch.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna be in the social world, you gotta have some
definitely,
merch.
definitely.
We need some on the cusp merch.
Absolutely.
You know, like the kids
Yeah.
always are like, Dad, I need this merch. Like, oh my God, stop
I don't
watching
know.
YouTube.
I don't know if I. You're gonna have to work on me on that one.
We need
Okay.
merch. We get some flat bills.
There you
Now,
go.
now you guys right now primarily you launched in Ruston.
We did.
You
We did.
launched in Ruston, and so where are you working right now?
So we've launched in Ruston, Louisiana, but we've branched into other areas in Northeast Louisiana, Monroe specifically. I'll
Tallulah? Lots of business in Tallulah?
have,
Where else are we
have
talking
not
about
been
over
to
there?
Tallulah, but
You know, you get past Monroe, it gets quiet over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of agriculture out there, believe it or
Right,
not.
right.
Do a bunch
okay?
of tractor.
The largest sweet potato processing plant is in Tallulah.
I mean,
okay?
hey, if it's a process or anything interesting, we can make content out of it. Marouge, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
So one of our clients is Four Sisters Rice, Kennedy Rice
Yep.
in
Oh,
Marouge.
cool.
Yep.
So we sat down with Meryl, and she's incredible, and her team. And initially, we were like, we can make video content for you. And she's
So this
like,
is a rice farmer?
a rice farm and a rice mill.
Oh my
Right,
gosh,
they have
you
their
gotta
own
get
rice
them to
mill.
come talk to us.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
That's awesome.
absolutely. She'd
Yeah.
be wonderful. But
That sounds so fun. Like doing
It is.
I bet those are awesome. I
oh,
wanna see those.
it's incredible.
Well, you had something really big happen too recently, didn't you? You went on a big
Yes.
trip.
Yes, so Wall Clipper Corporation actually flew us up to Chicago. They're about 2 hours out of Chicago in a little town called Sterling, Illinois.
Cool.
And that was one of the jump off points for a new platform that we're creating in collaboration with George, Barber Influencer. And it is going to be George's Jobs. So this is a unique, engaging, and creative solution to the workforce recruitment issue that everybody, specifically manufacturers in the country, are facing post-COVID. So we're creating content specifically tailored to what jobs that these companies are hiring for.
That's awesome.
And I'll give an example of some of the success that we've had with the workforce recruitment. So EPC, Josh and Caleb Etheridge, I think y'all might have had Caleb on here
did.
not too long ago. So they're friends of ours. And Caleb had approached us about a workforce issue that he was having. We can't get anybody hired. We need these people in order to put these projects out here. And so we sat down with him and pitched a short form video strategy to help him recruit. And the very first video that we created and posted for them hit over 1 million views on Facebook within the
Wow.
first week and garnered 80 applications for them
Boy,
in the
that
first
is
week.
measurable.
That's
You know
huge.
what? Oh my gosh. See, because a lot of our portfolio companies, they want to go and spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising, and you ask them, they say, "So how are you going to measure this?" I
Right.
mean, anybody can stroke a check.
Exactly.
Okay, but having metrics that your provider comes in and says, "Hey, you got 1 million likes, you got 80 applications. How many did you hire?" Because after you get to the application, it's on them,
Right.
right?
Right.
I
And
mean,
are y'all, do you have the system set up on the back end to properly handle that traffic? Because, I mean, if I looked at y'all and I said, well, Dave, what would you do if I sent you 20 million views? What would EAP do?
oh my gosh.
Freak out.
I would. I don't know how. Out of 20,
Panic.
yeah, I would because then I'd have to be okay. How do I convert that into blue couch meetings at EAP?
Right.
All right. And if I hadn't thought that through, I couldn't transaction that number.
It's crazy how post-COVID, how much marketing conversation has turned into marketing for new hires.
Exactly.
I mean, I have that conversation almost every
But
meeting.
you would be surprised in how many industries this very conversation is taking place.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
everything from entertainment.
It's across the board.
It's across the board.
Yeah.
exactly.
All the way to manufacturing.
It really is.
It really
Absolutely.
is. And that is amazing.
I'll go
me.
to 20 different meetings a week with different clients, all on different stuff, and that comes up every time.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like, okay, we're doing this for sales, and what are we doing for new people.
Workforce, absolutely. And I mean, as entrepreneurs, you know, if you keep seeing a reoccurring theme and a reoccurring issue, you're probably going to want to find a problem or a solution to that problem. And so I'm always brainstorming and thinking about, okay, if this is a reoccurring issue, what can we do to help solve that? And with EPC, like I mentioned earlier, we've seen a lot of success with it. We're super excited
Right.
to launch Georgia's Jobs.
I'll tell you, I've done a lot of hiring here at the BRF, and Indeed does not work for me.
And the data backs it up. I will
Okay.
say on the back end, the data backs
And
it
that
up.
stuff is expensive.
It is.
I
It
mean,
is.
I probably the most successful company I work with right now was putting so much money in about 9 different markets into recruitment and basically switched to taking their people on awesome trips and doing awesome contests and having
Wow.
sales guys win first pitches at the Astros games and all that. And they have been dramatically more successful.
Wow.
I think people are looking for a lot more.
Because that's
But
where
if
you
can,
compete.
If you can give
Yeah.
them that content
Something
that
different.
convince them
Yeah.
that they're looking for more out of, just working for somebody, I think that really changes it right there.
Well, this was awesome.
Exactly.
Thank you for coming over and visiting with
Absolutely.
us.
Yeah, this
great.
is very exciting.
Thank y'all
Very
for
cool.
having
I'm
us.
happy for
Thank
y'all.
y'all for having me.
Okay. Well, this
Awesome.
is really good.
Enjoy the podcast? We would love your feedback about today's show and who you think should be our next guest. Send us an email at info@eapla.com. Also, be sure to share the show and leave a comment on our social media post.